You're 22, starry-eyed and in love, saying, "I do," to the man who promises the world. But by 25, that world is a prison. Every outfit scrutinized, every friend forbidden, every dream crushed under his thumb. The pain builds until you can't breathe. Then, at 27, you shatter the chains with a single, bold move that leaves him reeling. If you've ever felt suffocated by someone who should have lifted you up, this story will hit hard. Stay with me. The payback is pure satisfaction. Hey there, everyone. My name is Emily, and I'm 29 now, thriving in Seattle as a graphic designer with a side passion for abstract painting that lets me pour out all those pent-up emotions. I live in a sunlit studio apartment overlooking the Puget Sound, where I finally get to choose my own playlist without judgment. Today, I'm opening up about a chapter of my life that's equal parts heartbreaking and empowering. My real-life escape from a marriage that nearly broke me. If you've ever been in a relationship where you lost yourself, or if you're rooting for stories where the underdog wins big, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's jump into it. I promise, it'll resonate. Alright, let's rewind the clock and really dive deep into how this all unfolded. I want you to feel like you're right there with me, experiencing every twist and turn, because this isn't just a story, it's my truth, raw and unfiltered. I was 22 when it all began, that tender age where you're teetering between the freedom of youth and the pull of adulthood. I'd just graduated from art school in Chicago, my portfolio bursting with vibrant sketches and digital designs that screamed creativity. But life post-college hit hard, student loans piling up, job rejections stinging like paper cuts, and that nagging voice in my head whispering, "You need stability, Emily. You need a plan." That's when Mark entered the scene, like a knight in shining armor from one of those rom-coms I used to binge-watch. We met at a rooftop party thrown by a mutual friend, string lights twinkling against the city skyline, laughter mingling with the hum of traffic below. He was 26, tall with dark hair that fell just right, and a job as a financial analyst that made him seem so put together. His smile? It lit up the night, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. We talked for hours that evening, about everything from our favorite indie bands to our wildest travel dreams. He listened, really listened, and for the first time in months, I felt seen, valued, like I wasn't just another struggling artist in a sea of them. The red flags? They were there from the start, but I was too enchanted to notice. On our third date, at a cozy Italian restaurant with the scent of fresh basil and garlic wafting through the air, he casually remarked on my outfit, a flowy sundress I'd picked because it made me feel free and feminine. "It's cute, but maybe next time something a little more modest? You don't want guys staring." His tone was light, almost playful, but there was an edge to it that made my stomach dip slightly. I brushed it off, telling myself it was sweet, protective even. After all, wasn't that what love looked like? Someone caring enough to guide you? Our relationship accelerated like a car without brakes. Within 3 months, we were inseparable, weekend getaways to lakeside cabins where we'd roast marshmallows over crackling fires, sharing secrets under starlit skies. He was affectionate, always holding my hand, whispering compliments that made my cheeks flush warm. But interspersed were those little controls. "Why do you need to go out with your friends tonight? Stay in with me instead." I'd cancel plans, curling up on the couch with him, the soft glow of the TV illuminating his content face while a quiet unease settled in my chest. Internal monologue racing. Is this normal? Am I being too sensitive? He just loves me a lot, right? By 6 months, he proposed on a crisp autumn evening in a park blanketed with golden leaves crunching underfoot. The ring, a simple solitaire diamond, sparkled under the setting sun as he knelt, eyes locked on mine. "Emily, you're my everything. Marry me, and we'll conquer the world together." Tears welled up, my heart pounding like a drum in my ears. Yes, I said yes, swept up in the romance, ignoring the whisper of doubt that fluttered like a trapped butterfly in my gut. The wedding was a dream, or at least, it looked like one from the outside. White lace gown hugging my figure, veil trailing like a whisper, surrounded by family and friends in a charming venue with floral arches and twinkling fairy lights. Vows exchanged with trembling voices, rings slipped on with promises of forever. But even then, during the reception, as we danced our song with the band playing softly in the background, he leaned in and murmured, "Don't drink too much tonight. We have an early flight tomorrow." Control, masked as concern. My smile faltered for a split second, but I nodded, the champagne flute feeling heavy in my hand. Honeymoon in Hawaii. Palm trees swaying in the ocean breeze, waves crashing rhythmically on golden sands. For those 2 weeks, it was paradise. Lazy mornings in bed with room service trays laden with tropical fruits, snorkeling in crystal-clear waters where colorful fish darted around us. Laughter echoed as we built sandcastles like kids, the sun warming our skin. But paradise cracked on the flight home. I mentioned wanting to pursue freelance graphic design gigs, excitement bubbling in my voice. His response? A scoff, his hand tightening on the armrest. "That's not stable, Em. Focus on being a wife first." The cabin air felt thicker, my enthusiasm deflating like a punctured balloon. Inside. Why does he get to decide? This is my dream too. Settling into married life in his sleek downtown apartment was where the real transformation began. The space was modern, glass windows overlooking bustling streets, minimalist furniture in shades of gray and white. But it quickly felt like a gilded cage. Mornings started with him laying out my clothes on the bed. "This blouse is professional, wear it to work." I'd stare at the outfit, fingers tracing the fabric, a sigh escaping my lips. "Okay," I'd mutter, dressing mechanically, the mirror reflecting a version of me that felt increasingly foreign, hair tied back neatly, makeup subtle, spirit subdued. One evening stands out vividly, about 6 months in. I'd had a rough day at my entry-level design job. A client rejected my concepts, leaving me drained. I came home to the aroma of takeout Chinese food wafting from the kitchen, hoping for comfort. Mark was on the couch, scrolling his phone, feet propped up. "Hey, babe," I said, dropping my bag with a thud. "Tough day?" he asked, but before I could elaborate, his phone buzzed. He answered, laughing with a colleague, ignoring me as I slumped into a chair. When he hung up, I tried again. "Yeah, the client hated my ideas." His reply? "Maybe if you listened to my advice on your portfolio, that wouldn't happen." No empathy, just criticism. My throat tightened, eyes burning with unshed tears. Body language screaming defeat, shoulders hunched, hands clasped tightly in my lap. Internally, does he even care? Or am I just an extension of him? The isolation crept in slowly, like shadows lengthening at dusk. He started questioning my phone calls. Who was that? Why so long? One night, after a chat with my best friend Sarah about nothing important, just girl talk over coffee plans, he grabbed my phone mid-conversation. "Let me see," he demanded, voice low and edged. My heart raced, palms slick with sweat as he scrolled through messages. "Sarah's always stirring drama. You don't need her." He deleted her number right there, his fingers tapping decisively. I protested weakly, voice cracking. "Mark, that's my friend." He shrugged, handing it back. "I'm looking out for you." The room spun slightly, betrayal slicing through me like a cold blade. Powerlessness. It's that sinking realization that your choices are slipping away, one by one. By our first anniversary, at 23, the control had woven into every thread of our life. We celebrated at a fancy restaurant, candlelight flickering on crystal glasses, the clink of silverware punctuating hushed conversations around us. I wore the dress he picked, elegant black, high-necked. As we toasted with champagne bubbling effervescently, he leaned in, happy anniversary, but let's talk about kids soon. You're not getting younger. I nearly choked, the fizzy liquid turning bitter on my tongue. I'm only 23, I whispered, fork clattering against the plate. His eyes narrowed, a storm brewing. Don't be selfish, Em. The rest of the dinner passed in tense silence, my appetite gone, stomach churning with resentment. Friends noticed the change. At a rare group hangout, one he'd reluctantly allowed, my old college buddy Mia pulled me aside in the bathroom, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Em, you seem quieter. Everything okay? Her concern was a lifeline, but I deflected with a forced laugh, makeup compact snapping shut. Just married life, you know? But inside, turmoil. I'm disappearing. How'd I stop this? Year 2 brought more escalation. Mark pushed me to quit my job. I make good money, you can stay home, maybe start a family. Arguments erupted like volcanoes, his voice rising, face flushing red, pacing the living room with heavy steps that shook the floor. You're wasting your time there. Listen to me. I'd retreat to the bedroom, door clicking shut softly, curling up under the covers, body trembling with suppressed sobs. The sheets smelled of his cologne, a reminder of the trap. Disrespect dripped from his every word. You think you know better? Ha! Underestimation at its core. He saw me as incapable, a doll to mold. A particularly infuriating incident happened during a holiday visit to his family. Snow blanketed the ground outside their suburban home, Christmas lights twinkling merrily. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of pine and roasted turkey. His mother fawned over him, while I helped in the kitchen, chopping vegetables with rhythmic knife thuds. At dinner, around a table laden with festive dishes, Mark joked to his brother, "Emily's art thing is cute, but thank God I handle the real stuff." Laughter erupted, silverware clinking. My cheeks burned, knife gripped tighter in my hand under the table. Internal dialogue screaming, "Cute? It's my passion. Why does he belittle me?" I smiled politely, but the injustice festered like an open wound. By 24, the emotional toll was visible. I'd lost weight, circles darkening under my eyes, reflected in every mirror I passed. Nights were sleepless, staring at the ceiling fan whirring monotonously, thoughts spiraling. This isn't love. Love doesn't suffocate. Betrayal deepened. He was supposed to be my partner, not my warden. Craving justice became a quiet fire in my belly, but fear held me back. Shame from society, judgment from family. What will they say? Divorced so young? The pattern continued into year 3. Mark monitored my spending, questioning every receipt. "Why'd you buy that sketchbook?" Waste of money. I'd hide purchases, heart pounding as I stuffed them in the back of the closet, the crinkle of paper bags betraying my secrecy. One explosive fight over a girl's night out, he forbade it, slamming his fist on the counter, glasses rattling. "You're not going." End of discussion. I went anyway, defiance sparking for the first time. At the bar, music pulsing, drinks clinking, Sarah hugged me. "Girl, you need this." But guilt gnawed, phone buzzing with his angry texts. "Where are you? Get home now." I returned to a locked door, forced to beg entry like a stranger. His face, twisted in rage. "Don't ever defy me again." Body language. Arms crossed, towering over me. My knees weakened, but a seed of resolve planted. At 25, isolation peaked. No more job. He'd worn me down until I resigned. The office farewell party a blur of hugs and well wishes that felt like goodbyes to my independence. Home became my world. Cleaning, cooking, waiting for him. Days blurred. Morning coffee steaming in my mug, staring out the window at people rushing by, envy twisting my gut. That's freedom, I'd think, fingers tracing condensation on the glass. Evenings, he'd return, expecting dinner ready, critiquing every bite, too salty. Try harder next time. The disrespect was relentless, chipping away at my self-worth. One rainy afternoon, thunder rumbling outside, I found an old journal in a box. Pages filled with my pre-marriage dreams, traveling solo, exhibiting my art. Tears splashed onto the ink, smudging words. Who am I now? The storm mirrored my inner chaos, rain pattering against windows like accusations. Year 4, at 26, brought the breaking point. A solo coffee run, rare freedom. The cafe buzzed with chatter, espresso machines hissing steam. Overhearing two women. Divorce saved my life. I chose me. Their words echoed, coffee cup warm in my hands, a spark igniting. Back home, mark away, I researched online, fingers flying over keys, deleting history frantically. Heart racing, breaths shallow. This could be it. Freedom. That evening, confrontation brewed. Dinner table set with plates clinking, steam rising from pasta. We need to talk, I said, voice steady despite knees knocking under the table. He sighed dramatically, fork pausing midair. What drama now? I poured it out. Control, isolation, lost self. His denial. You're exaggerating. I do everything for us. Argument escalated, voices rising, chairs scraping back. I'm leaving, I declared, standing tall for the first time. His shock. Eyes widening, face paling then reddening. You won't survive without me. You'll come crawling back. Fury boiled, but I walked away, doors slamming, echoes ringing. The planning phase was my underground revolution, a secret world of empowerment amidst the ruins of our marriage. Nights turned into strategy sessions. Curled up in the guest room, I'd moved there weeks prior, laptop screen glowing softly in the dark, casting shadows on the walls. I'd research divorce lawyers, heart thumping like a war drum every time I heard a floorboard creak, fearing he'd burst in. Palms sweaty on the mouse, clicking through websites, no-fault divorce, asset division, alimony. Each term was a weapon, arming me for battle. Internal fears whispered, what if he fights dirty? What if I lose everything? But determination drowned them out. No more. This ends on my terms. I gathered evidence meticulously, like a detective in my own life story. Screenshots of controlling texts, don't wear that, delete that friend, stacked in a hidden folder. Bank statements printed quietly at a library printer, the machine whirring as I glanced over my shoulder. Notes on incidents. Dates, times, his words verbatim. One entry. February 14th, Valentine's, criticized my gift, called it thoughtless. Felt like a punch. The folder grew thick, a testament to years of injustice. Choosing a lawyer was pivotal. I met her, Ms. Harper, in a nondescript office downtown, rain streaking the windows, the scent of fresh coffee grounding me. She was sharp, mid-40s, with a no-nonsense bob and eyes that saw through BS. Emily, this is emotional abuse. You have grounds. Her words were balm, validating the pain I'd buried. Signing the retainer, pen scratching paper, felt like signing a Declaration of Independence. Thrill mixed with terror. This is real. No turning back. Telling my family? Gut-wrenching. Over a video call, screen flickering slightly, my mom's face crumpled. Oh, honey, we had no idea. Tears flowed, mine hot on my cheeks, hers pixelated. Dad's support. You're strong, we'll help. For the first time, I wasn't alone. Friends rallied too. Sarah sneaking over with wine, bottles clinking, hugs tight. You're doing the right thing, she affirmed, glasses raised in toast. Serving the papers was the pinnacle of payback, orchestrated for maximum impact. I opted for a process server at his office, public humiliation to mirror the private ones he'd inflicted. Imagining the scene. His sleek corporate building, glass doors whooshing open, colleagues typing away in cubicles. The server, clipboard in hand. Mark Thompson? You've been served. His reaction, pieced from his frantic call later. Face draining of color, papers crumpling in his fist. whispers rippling through the office like wildfire. "What the hell, Emily?" he roared over the phone, voice cracking with rage and disbelief. "You're destroying me." Short sentences for tension, shock, fury, exposure. For once, he was the vulnerable one, mask slipping in front of his world. The divorce proceedings were a marathon of drama, each court date a skirmish. First hearing. Sterile courtroom, wooden benches creaking, judge's gavel a punctuation mark. Mark's lawyer argued, but Ms. Harper countered fiercely, evidence laid out like cards in a winning hand. His glares across the room, eyes boring into me, jaw clenched tight. I'd meet them steadily, chin up, feeling power surge through my veins. Intermediary battles over assets. He fought for the apartment, but proof of my contribution swung it my way. One session, he exploded in the hallway post-adjournment. "You'll regret this, you ungrateful bitch." Security escorted him, his footsteps echoing defeat. Mediation attempts failed spectacularly. Neutral office, bland walls, tension thick as fog. He begged, then threatened. "Come back, we can fix this." My response, calm and cutting. "No. I'm free." His humiliation peaked, tears in his eyes, something I'd never seen. Emotional release for me. Relief washing over like ocean waves, triumph bubbling as laughter later with friends. The final hearing, at 27, courtroom hushed, anticipation electric. Judge's verdict. Divorce granted. Assets divided equitably. Gavel bang, echoing freedom. Outside, sunlight pierced clouds, warming my face. Tears of joy streamed, body light as if weights lifted. Validation hit hard. I chose myself. Mark? Slumped shoulders, avoiding eyes, slinking away alone. His world shattered, mine reborn. Sweet, earned justice. Reflecting on it all now, that divorce wasn't revenge in the flashy sense. It was quiet justice, karma's gentle hand guiding me back to myself. I learned that true strength comes from within, and no one should ever dim your spark. If you're in a similar spot, know this: choosing yourself is the ultimate win. Life's too short for cages, fly free. Wow, sharing that felt cathartic. Hope it gave you those empowering chills. If my story resonated, or if the payback moment made you cheer, hit that like button hard and comment below. What's your biggest escape from a toxic situation? Have you ever reclaimed your power like this? I love reading your experiences, it builds our community. Subscribe for more real-life stories of resilience, triumph, and yes, satisfying come-up-pantses. Turn on notifications so you never miss one. Thanks for joining me today, you're amazing. Take care, and remember, your freedom is worth fighting for. See you soon.